about using much more character in the different teams, in the different section, are coming along very well. However, what I would like you to be very much aware, first of all, is that you choose the right bow work with the character, with the passage, with the instrumental and musical challenge. That's one thing. The other thing is the intensity that you have to build over much longer section, much larger form. And what I feel that sometimes when you start, for example, the second team, nothing happened in all those 3 repeats, like developing it to arrive to the next section, which there is a transition, which is just a transition to another climax in the second team. So everything stays a little bit one way, you know, I mean, you have to kind of play with your heart. At the same time, you have to know that your heart can love or hate or express and be passive or active all the time. So the variety of things that you're putting in it somehow is not yet quite united. That's what I think that is the main problem. The other thing is the way the problems are coming, you are really playing with extremely too high left fingers. So everything that is brilliant coming so high, you know, with those long fingers, you know, makes it much more difficult. You have to stay much closer to the instrument with the left hand and be much more uniform in the work of every finger articulating.
Probably with the open string. Not articulating in the middle, and it's...
If you feel more comfortable with the fourth, I think it's much easier with the open string, simply because you avoid that short finger. This is much more locking the hand, you know, somehow, instead of kind of having the hand open and moving on. But the thing is to stay very close. That's very good. The first finger that you're using is a little bit lost in the movement.
Yeah.
Because somehow the way you're moving the first finger is somehow lines up the others. See, yours is going everywhere before. Much better. The other thing is the shift. Don't press into the shift in your mind. You know, it's just a motion. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Again, the shift. You're basically doing the shift like there is a pose there. You're going there?
No, bass string.
It's all right. It's more brilliant if it stays on E string. Yeah. Also, that G sharp kind of really gets lost here. Yeah. Simply, it's more brilliant. It's also. See, all that third position from D to G is exactly which fingers can help. Now, try one more time from the beginning and give the feeling that you are not somehow enjoying the concerto playing, but you are enjoying being there. You know, the way you're starting it, if you can take the opening. Before you play it very expressive or something like that, but still somehow don't start like this. The way you are playing, if I don't know the concerto, it feels like it's a pickup party. It's a quick inhale. So the bow gesture is. open up very suddenly. You know? When you come on, all of those very closely to the pulse of an 8th note. Basically, it's the same tempo. You are playing somehow varied tempos in everything. So the good thing is that you have a good idea. Now make sure that the idea does not change the tempo or doesn't break the line into very small pieces. It is free, but it should not be free as much as with the tempo. Yeah. So that was very good. And if you don't have that brace, it sounds like you're playing a downbeat. Better organized. So the beat basically is ram pi ra ra ri ra 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 ri ra ra rim ta ra ra ri ra 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 ri ta ra rim ta. It should feel that it conducts at the same time it's free, but not like goes up and down, up and down. That was much better. Let's try now the theme. I don't understand quite the character in your theme. What is the first character? What?
Dancing.
Dancing?
Yeah.
Well,
ballet.
well, I mean, okay, it's like a ballet, but what is the character? Which character in the ballet is it?
Well, I don't know.
Is it the swan? If it's the swan, is it the black swan? Is it the cavalier? Or is it the chorus of the ballet? What is it? If I ask you, for example, this is the masculine or feminine theme, what do you say?
Well, I would say it's feminine. I don't know.
It's not feminine, exactly, yeah. So it's the basically it's a prince, for example, and it has to have that kind of a dignity. You know, the way you're starting is a little bit too in. So I think the whole body has to stay with that. Like something is elevated, something like you're entering the stage and you're talking about. The sound has to go into the F. Yes. Careful intonation, yeah. It's moderato aside, but still you have ram pam pim pam one and tira ra ra pim pam. Starting this well, and I don't know whether it's an idea or it's a mechanical kind of a string crossing problem, but it certainly has to go to into the E. There is more initiative, there is more leadership in that up bow. More direct on the down bow. Not necessarily a heavy accent, but make sure that the sound doesn't do that. That's what you tend to do. not there. Somehow the crescendo comes very, very soon, and somehow loses that kind of a. It should be more extravagant. Should be with kind of a more greater surprise or so. Forte is basically here. So this note is still in forte, and this one starts to kind of go back basically in 2 beats. Try one more time straight from here. Da-dum, ba-da-dum. So the G sharp is still. Enough intensity, you know, in the sound to kind of make this pickup beat, you know, much more into the character of the tenor. No rush here, you have to kind of set us into the new tema, yeah? Those notes like a sextola, you know? Make sure this one is connected. Don't jump between the terza and the chorus. Idea that the B starts the espressivo, and I feel that, but not with an accent. It gives the feeling a little bit of too much of articulation, you know. Yeah. So the difference is that it's not suddenly as fast a bow, but actually it's more expressive, slower bow. Yeah, don't lose in the shift the espressivo. Yeah. Yeah. This passage is going to be.
How do you think the first? Do you set the bow?
Yeah, I always set the bow because there is basically a natural accent there, you know, that basically you have to kind of bring, it's written down, yeah. So yeah, this sounds very melodic, so you want to give a little bit of a sparkle. It's also taking time, just basically what you do is you tiny bit set the bow. Yes, not a harsh, yeah, just articulate, yeah. And very even. This is the other problem. There is a slight, somehow, problem of unevenness. All of those. Tiki-taka, tiki-taka, tiki-taka. Make sure that, especially on this climb, is, first of all, practice it once with a little bit more articulated fingers. Each finger. The other one is a little bit vibrato. You can feel which finger actually denies the work, which finger doesn't serve you. Well, through both of the exercises. Yeah, that's too much. No, no. The fingers are more articulated, the tip is not the whole finger. It's not so open.
Oh, okay.
Yes? Yes? Yeah, the articulation is in the tip. Yes? And immediately there is a small shift, it threw you off. Careful. Good, okay. Now that was fine. Now let's go a little bit to the second theme. Take from here. So. Free but understandable. Yeah. You see, what happens is your largest syncopation becomes faster than your shortest syncopation. You see, that's what I'm saying about. So you can be very free, you know, just basically. Something like that, but it should be exact that this is 16 and this beginning of the syncopation is an 8th note. No matter how free you play it, you have to understand that change. When you have something like that which has so much mixture of rhythms and note values and bowings and etc., play it a little bit distant. Study it once, ya pa pi ra pa 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 pim pam 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 pa, you know, basically. And then once you are settled with that, you know, you can make the beat to become a bit more spread. Instead of playing ya ta ta ti ta ti ra da 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 dim tom dim. You can conduct it in a different way. You can conduct certain places in 2, certain places in 1, certain places in 4.
Sorry,
How are you copying that?
I'm doing upbeats.
Espressivo, the second time.
More floating.
More floating, okay.
The orchestra goes down and
yeah, okay, from the accompaniment it's alright. What I hear is just you are playing it the very same way, a little bit faster, or a little bit more floating, as you say. And then play the third one. What I suggest is use more bow work. You know, to make, because it says con molto espressione, so it repeats. For me, the second one has to be even more expressive. So con molto espressione can be, you know, from here to here. So if you play the first time, just, sorry. The second time, use more speaking or more kind of a sense in the bow. Just every note becomes extra expressive into the bow. The first one, let's try, I mean, it may work, may not work, but the first one is basically basic espressivo, you know, and every note is well kind of beautified. The second one has to give a plus of that, yeah. You can play espressivo going, you know, towards the fingerboard. The espressivo is played somewhere here. You know, and make sure that the bow draws really, you know, starting from It's one of the things that I notice is how you choose your sound. First of all, the little swells that you do in the third and the fourth bar are very similar. Those bars have to bring something different, very small, but the swell is there. The way you're playing the first sound, the way you're phrasing it gives the same feeling. The sound should start more immediate. Also, make sure that the tempo is allegro, it's a breve, a little bit faster. Feel that you are vibrating through the entire note evenly. Not. Otherwise, it gives the feeling that you are, with your phrase, there is a written swell over the two bars, and you don't want somehow this to be disturbed, the third and the 4-bar swell, which is at the end. And overall, I think that the heavy breathing makes you actually feel much less free, you know. This should be open. Yeah. What is not somehow I don't kind of understand in your sound is that if you play this la di, what I imagine is an accompaniment that is basically in quarter notes, da, or half notes or something like that. The accompaniment, you know, gives some kind of, it's very soft voce, but it has some kind of agitation in the feeling. It's like seeking for something. So the sound has to be more, not, it sounds more like for the second movement, which is adagio, so, but this is so. Good. Yeah, don't accent the A's, don't accent the A's. The third and the fourth bar A's is pretty similar to the first. Pianist does ti-ra-ra-ram, ti-ra-ra-ram. You have to do ti-ra-ra-ra-ram, ti-ra-ra-ra-ram. That's why your comes with the third beat of the piano, and actually the swell is within the fourth beat. So imagine that it's not a 2, 3, 4. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4 up. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and that's it should sound behind the piano. Just an 8th note behind, yeah? Oh, 3, 4. Yeah, and then, yeah. Listen. 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel that somehow the point of the swell is the very beginning of the G, and then there is a decay within the G. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not. See, that's what yours sounds like. 2, 3. Good. Better. Even though it's basically crescendo. Go down, don't play. It goes all the way to the B. So the long notes are starting a crescendo and developing it. But otherwise you're going again for the downbeats. It's actually that is piano, sottovoce and espressivo. Don't go, still is and he reminds pianissimo here also, so he doesn't want to go out of that quietness of the tone. All the shadows, some expressions basically are within the piano. Too much. See, that's too much already. Still. Yeah, that's not a good idea. Especially half step on two strings for one note. If you're very gentle, you can play an open string. It's not a criminal, things like that, but that's not a good idea. Very good. Make sure that the D is where this forte somehow arrives. So whatever you start, here. Don't disconnect. Excuse me. So don't lift the bow. It should sound as much as possible as the legato. Your 8th note is very close to a 16. Well, we are playing the... No. Key, so when you play it has a new feeling of a long and very intense line. So not only you're playing basically tara articulated bowings in pairs, but it's part of a long line that belongs to that new key. With the forearm basically chops the line. If you'd like to have a more connected arm, you have to use upper arm and keep the movement true. Now tira, you're stopping, and then tara, you're stopping the movement. Tira, tira, tira. It's one movement, almost like a spiral doing this, But this is the feeling of non-stop motion. Try to understand it first somehow. Somehow the end of the bow and the start of the bow have to be very much in the same feeling. That's what I don't want you to do. You have two sounds. Not. So that's why you're chopping somehow the line. Almost like a, yeah, think about that. It's better if it's not somehow. It should feel like this kind of a feel, not. Start of the new transition. But there is a big breath here between the first and the second note in the bar. But it is a cadence we are in C major basically. Not so. Even though I was telling you playing slow at the beginning, here it has to get the feeling of sostenuto, not so much. It sounds too light-hearted. The piano is doing that. Good. Still is part of it, you know, still is in forte. It goes after that. Oh, yes, sir. Good. Yeah, there is no need to play. Those are two different things, you know. The piano has to finish another bar and a half, and then it's your, you know, somehow don't mix the two feelings. This is something totally different than this. Ta-ta-tim, ta-ta-tim, ta-ta-ti-ra-ra-ra. The little sforzato that is here somehow does not mean that note has to be so played so fast. I personally think that it's a little bit more sitting on it, especially at the very top, you know. Why? Because the piano plays a line that starts from that note. The piano doesn't play ta-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra, plays ta-ra-ra, ti-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra, ta-ra-ra, and there is that lip, you know, that is ti-ra-ra, ti-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra. So you have to imagine that mi, 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 pa, ra, so, 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 la, fa. No, that's too fast. Ta 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 ti ta 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 ta. Yeah, and this one doesn't have a sforzando, as you know. This is on. See that the music is so spontaneous and has a tremendous amount of detail, but do not kind of change because of the detail so often the tempo. Because I'm getting lost as a listener. Careful, you're playing a wrong note there or something? Yeah. Yes, careful. fa, sol, la, do, fa, sol, la. This triplet has to be a little more direct. The first ones are good. Fa, sol, la, if you can be more articulate. Articulate only the first note, not the third so much. Because otherwise it's more direct that way. Otherwise it's not ta ra 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 ta da 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 da. Yeah. The arrival of this whole thing. Don't put the same amount of energy in every chord, in every down bar, every bar line. Yeah. Especially the first one is good. If you can not the crescendo in the tenths. If you need to kind of change a bow, I don't mind that, but this basically has to kind of continue into the forte. Yeah. So again, whatever time you take, don't stop on each one. Just let it move on, yeah? There are two rubatos both times. You can do the first one exactly as conservative as you did it is fine. The next one definitely has to be freer.
Okay.
Ya, ya, da, 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 almost, yeah. Lighter on the chords. Yeah, a very free arm, just let it return. Don't overpower. It's not necessary to take the entire bow if it takes off the way from the tempo. Yeah, don't make it so underlined. Don't just let go through the passage. Down here. Okay. You see, otherwise it becomes again, one of the difficulties in playing this kind of music is that if you make a big deal out of every technique that he uses, then it becomes very chopped, you know. Yeah. And that's what you want to set to certain passages, even though it says fortissimo in this case, you know, let it be with a lighter energy, so you can put your entire energy towards the end to finish it, you know. Never mind. Playing an A sharp on the G sharp trill. Okay. So. Very clear. Way too slow. It's a cadenza within. Let you just go and kind of finish the words. is something that is not only free, but the good thing is that it has to be uneven in a good way that kind of gives a feeling of a sweep or feeling of a fantasy. No, don't make it just kind of like a passage that will run, but has to move. So try it one more time. Why is this? That Spanish kind of embellishing, kind of almost ornating, you know, with the character of the long note. Also, the more down bit faster. Probably not most of it, but that's the right idea. Try one more time.
Am I supposed to finish up bow again? Right here. Is this connected to this one? They're on the same bow.
Yeah, they're on the same bow, yeah.
Because it's not written like that in this edition. So I think I'm thinking.
No, probably just bad back print. Yes, a little bit longer, and then it's a little sforzando on the last one. Stay longer on the cello. Repeat something, always aim for the last one. The first one is so bright that you don't need to press into it, just let it breathe, be there. Try one more time. From the beginning, in every way this is much better. The chords are much better, the intonation is much better, the rhythm and the tempo are much better, so it's a good promising kind of a shape already that you can go on from there. Since you are playing this afternoon at the class, you know, I'd like to just focus on a few things which I think are a little bit underlooked, or they are a little bit not quite consistent. One of the things is that, well, every time you play the 16 notes, play for me those, the opening. Yeah, so the non-legato is a stroke that basically separates the détaché a bit more than the regular tenuto or kind of more connected détaché. When you are playing this, you are stopping the bow for each note. It is actually the movement somehow functioning. Otherwise, imagine that you're playing. So basically, you are stopping the bow after the note, and then again, and it's a. Basically, it's an articulate stroke that decays, but the bow doesn't stop moving all the time. Yeah. So the 16 notes, that's what actually my point was. No. They are not vertical, they are not like belong to some kind of an extra weight or extra underlying notes. They are moving notes. So every time those 16 notes come back, one is in forte, one is in the chords. Don't kind of punch on. They have a light character, and that's what you want. Otherwise, the whole thing becomes extremely studied and extremely kind of held back. So this is what I would encourage you to try now for the couple of hours you have to fix. Then the other place I would like you to try for me is if you can take the bariolage right from here. From there. Probably can take a little before that, just from that segment, yeah. Now again, be careful. No, don't put an accent. You're putting an accent. Same thing here. No, some of those are in the lighter part of the bow, some are in the heavier part of the bow. So that's what you want to kind of have as a balance, you know. So when I'm in the upper half, I'm more with the instrument and the bow together, but here this is lighter upper arm, yeah. Yeah, from there. Yeah. Try to not dig. Just light the bow, yeah? Now, this is how to happen. As we are working on that bow arm, you know, when you go down, don't put the weight so vertically towards the ground with that broken wrist, you know. You think that you're moving the bow more horizontally rather than going down and pressing into it. The feeling of the bow is that it lights up towards. Yeah. Let's stop here for a second. I think in every way it's much better, and what I find is good. It's very well organized. It has a good structure. It has good meaning. What I would suggest to really consider actually changing is the type of vibrato we are using. The vibrato is too general and not always supports the expression that you have in the bow or the expression that you are trying to find in the music. Especially in intense moments, your vibrato becomes what I call a little bit like starts with one intensity and then gets really wide and loose, like almost something that is in a slow and very lyrical piece, or some kind of melodic texture like that. And that happens also in fast passages and notes that are very intense, like the last E flat. What you did was this E. You have to keep intensity. It doesn't matter that it's an accent and it will decay, but the vibrato is not serving exactly that type of sound. Or at the very beginning also, when you start to add vibrato in the long notes, it's not exactly the type that is, I think, the right one. So let's try and work on vibrato and some other things as well. The sound you're starting in the bow is very expressive. So the vibrato has to be with that. Not because it becomes very lazy otherwise. And somehow try to not stop it. And then take another type of vibrato. it's not so much into the whole arm and into the wrist, but it's more concentrated to get that kind of a coldness of the sound. It's more concentrated at the tip of the finger, and it's almost like not letting the vibrato go, but hold it right here. Not, it's just letting it go, and it's just you know that this kind of glossy and icy opening of the violins with the mutes and ponticello, you have to find your sound just above that, but not in a different world, you know. Yeah, here the, okay. It started about 1 foot further. Immediately, the way you go to the instrument, yeah. Immediately, keep the sound, keep the sound. Intense. Start to grow. A very clean change here. So from here, when has to kind of build up to that forte. It has been just 2 bars, you know, where you have to kind of make a point to come here, yeah. Take a into the sound, just move into the sound. You see, this is a much softer. Yes. Be more certain with these upbeats that you have here, yeah? First of all, it's not clean, and somehow it doesn't give the feeling of a pickup. No, not expressive. It's a... impulsive, the whole thing. If you can, there are small details here and there, but you can be a little more aware of that. So also this one, the G certainly is more than the C, yeah? Blake, not with pressure. You see, that's one sound. That's a physical crescendo. The crescendo is always grow, but not really by a force, just by freeing. So if I do, it's a physical crescendo. This is more kind of closer to freedom, free movement. Free arm. When you take this, you're making somehow the crescendo just by using the bow direction, but it has to give the feeling of a arrival to the ear. Extremely well. The only feeling that is something is missing there, it could be, as it says, a little more piacere, a little bit freer. So just take a freer bow if you don't feel like making a big deal. Good try, don't press so much when you use more bow. So you can have also, after that, enough, bow weight to make the crescendo. Yeah? And even though when you look at those, it says the same thing, have a little bit more of an idea that they are not exactly the same energy, each one. Somehow the last one probably is the strongest, Yeah. That's why when you go that, you get tempted to play loud and make a big crescendo. Save something so you can actually have enough to put this in the third one without forcing into it, yeah? With the same temperament, don't change the temperament, it still is. The more is the very first group. So after you have calmed down, he says tenuto, you're holding that note, and then he says a tempo and veloce, which means basically to move on. So if you start hesitant somehow and then suddenly speed up, somehow the first few notes don't make a point. So after you have slowed down in the long note, somehow give the feeling of a direct tempo, yeah? Almost like booing somebody, quality of the stroke, because it is a little bit hazy. It's not clear enough. I mean, it can be hazy to a certain extent, you know, but whether it's actually the bow placement or it's the weight in the arm and the contact you have exactly in here, you know, how it relates to your stroke. So the faster it gets a little bit worse, which means that you don't have balance between the arm and the bow, you know? So I think when it gets faster, actually it gets bigger, I'll come a little bit down, because being so close to the tip, the sound is much more difficult to find. In the beginning it's slightly, it's okay. Basically, it's how you place each crescendo or each sequence, you know, going up. So my power comes actually by starting with smaller muscle. The next step, or somewhere there, you know, basically. Now I'm participating with the forearm and part of the upper arm. Away from the bridge. That's one thing, that immediately you are losing the intensity from the bow. Stay there. Not, yeah. It says a decrescendo, but not. It doesn't mean to lose intensity, because after that, the next indication is mezzo forte, so the decrescendo is not really kind of to piano. You just tenuto that slightly will decay, but it stays intense.